And our WRAL weather alert day includes the potential for flooding. Right now in Wake County, we have a warning for flooding, and we'll go over that in just a few minutes.
A family tragedy. 3 family members gunned down by another relative. Reaction from neighbors straight ahead for you.
And multi-county chase. 4 people face charges after investigators say they stole a vehicle, then crashed.
Today is a WRAL weather alert day with flash flood warnings and advisories already issued in places like the Sandhills. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. We have live team coverage this noon. The WRAL Storm Tracker is watching the roads this lunch hour. We begin with Elizabeth in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at the rain chances for the rest of the day.
So we started early this morning with some bands of heavy rain moving across our area, and it just hasn't stopped. Now it's patchy, it moves through, but then redevelops. And so this is a look at where the rain is right now. It's tapered off a little bit here in the Sandhills, but we're looking at Fayetteville and along the I-95 corridor as far north as Wilson, seeing some heavy rain. And here in Wake County, stretching all the way up toward Virginia. We have a small part of Wake County that's under a flash flood warning that lasts until 2 o'clock. This is an area where we've seen as much as 2+ inches of rain, and it just continues to redevelop. So that includes Raleigh, Knightdale, all the way back toward Morrisville and Apex. It's a fairly small area. We don't have any reports of actual flooding, but the Weather Service is just looking at how much rain has fallen in this area, and they went ahead and issued this. We've seen about 1.5 inches just north and west of Raleigh, and then west of Raleigh about almost 2 inches there. We've seen some heavy rain in other parts of the viewing area as well. We'll kind of widen this out. Over here in Johnston County, some heavy rain right now. Zebulon, Rollsville, up toward Wake Forest, and north up toward Virginia. We head down to the south. A lot of lightning here in Fayetteville. That's headed off to the northern part of Sampson County. And of course, we're looking at the potential for some more heavy rain. We still have a flash flood warning in effect here in parts of Moore County. That was supposed to expire at noon. 4 inches have fallen there. And then parts of the viewing area, 3 inches there in Harnett County, and in the northern part of Sampson County also as much as 3 inches. So a lot of rain out there. We do continue to have that potential with anywhere from a 30 to 50% chance on through the evening. That flood risk, of course, 1 to 3 inches are possible. Coming up in just a little while, we're going to take a look at the newest information on Tropical Storm Erin. But in the meantime, we're going to take a look at what's happening out on the roads with Flynn, who is in the Storm Tracker.
Yeah, Elizabeth, we are out here we just pulled off of 70 East heading towards Clayton. Let's give you a look at the roads right now. We've experienced a lot of wet pavement and are now approaching an area of heavy rain, too. You might hear the rain tapping the glass as we're driving around. We've seen some minor ponding on the roads here in Clayton, and then also have seen some heavy spray, especially going on larger and faster speeds in areas of I-40 heading away from Raleigh, especially coming from larger vehicles there. Definitely a lot of wet pavement out there. Drivers taking it slow as we approach those pockets of heavy rain. We're going to keep driving around Clayton here, see what more we can find here in Johnston County as the heavy rain approaches south and east. We are going to turn around, head back to Raleigh, though, see what we can find there as well. For now, they're reporting live in the Storm Tracker, Flynn Snyder, WRAL News.
Flynn, thank you. And we want to see your photos and videos of the severe weather. If it's safe, snap a picture or take a vertical video and send it to us. You can go to WRAL.com/report it, and we may use it on TV or on our digital platforms.
With breaking news, we're following out of Harnett County. A 15-year-old is now charged with killing 3 family members. Within the last 30 minutes, we learned the married couple were decorated war veterans. WRAL's Carly Haynes is near the barbecue community with reaction from a neighbor. Carly?
And we've also learned that a 3rd person has died in this shooting. When police got here yesterday afternoon, they found 3 people with gunshot wounds at this Kentucky Derby Lane home in the Trotters Ridge neighborhood. And we've also learned a 10-year-old was inside and made that 911 call. Fortunately, they were unharmed in this. But as far as that 3rd victim goes, the sheriff's office said 74-year-old Clara Richards has died at the hospital. She is the mother of Danny Richards. Danny and his wife Sabrina also died last night. They were both in their 50s. Friends tell us Danny and Sabrina led a church in Fayetteville. It was called Genesis Grace Ministry. And they were also both in the military, spending some time at Fort Bragg. This neighborhood is tight-knit, and neighbors knew Danny and the family as friendly faces.
He's a very, very nice guy, and it's a sad situation that him and his family. You know, he lost him and his family to whatever the situation was. So.
Now, Danny's nephew, a 15-year-old boy, is in custody for their murder. We're still working to learn what led up to this shooting, and so are Harnett County deputies. They are still investigating this. That 15-year-old is in a juvenile detention facility. Right now, he's facing 2 counts for first-degree murder, and he will soon face a third. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Harnett County.
4 people, including 2 boys, face felony charges after leading police on a chase for nearly 20 miles. State Highway Patrol said it started in Mebane when they stole a Toyota 4Runner. The driver crashed the SUV on I-85 near the Duke Street exit around 1 a.m. All 4 jumped out and ran, but were later arrested. Listen to this Broadcastify radio traffic of the moments after a Durham canine officer caught one of the suspects.
We are 85 Duke Street northbound on ramp. We've got 3 in custody. I need EMS. Reference a dog bite for 1.
18-year-old Colby Williams is also charged with possession of cocaine. He's due in court at 2 o'clock.
Kickoff to the college football season is less than 2 weeks away, and interest in Carolina football is at an all-time high since Bill Belichick took over as head coach. He addressed the media this morning, and WRAL's Ken Smith is here with what Coach Belichick had to say about how the team's taking shape here during camp. Ken.
Yeah, Jeff, you mentioned interest at an all-time high. Well, get this. This year marked the earliest season tickets have sold out in the program's 135-year history. So let's get to the field. UNC and Coach Belichick are now in a new stage of fall camp. The team practiced in pads for the second time today. Coach Belichick says the team has done a lot of learning so far. He and his staff will start evaluating the players over the next 10 days. In typical Belichick style, he's not giving up any specifics, but says he's happy with the overall improvement of the team.
I'd say the biggest improvement has just come as a team, embracing the program that we're installing, which is consistency, dependability, physical and mental toughness. Just being productive every day. Everything we do is important, and all the details are important. And so embracing that and embracing the little things and doing the little things right and so forth is, it's hard.
Yeah, I mentioned no specifics. Well, no news yet on the quarterback battle. The Tar Heels open the season at home, hosting TCU on September 1st. That's Labor Day, by the way. We also heard from NC State head football coach Dave Doran. The Wolfpack kicking off the season at home as well against ECU on the 28th of August. Look for additional reporting on this story from WRAL's Pat Walter, starting at 4 right here on WRAL.
Breaking news, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russian President Vladimir Putin is bluffing about the impact sanctions are having on Russia's economy. Zelensky made the statement ahead of Friday's summit between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Both the German chancellor and the France's president agreed that no decisions can be made about Ukraine without Ukraine. President Trump is expected to hold a virtual meeting today with Zelensky. Some of the Christian Orthodox faithful in Anchorage, Alaska, are praying for peace ahead of the Trump-Putin summit. That summit is the latest development in the president's months-long effort to end the Ukraine war. While there is no guarantee the outcome of the meeting will bring peace, faithful locals are still holding out hope.
We're here. We're thankful that there is no imminent conflict happening here right now, but we are also under no delusion that there is evil and war happening around us. So we're trying to, to do what is asked of us, is to participate as a community together locally and to pray.
By the way, it's been 10 years since Putin was on American soil. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is not expected to be in Alaska for the summit, so any potential trilateral meeting is off the table for now.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, the U.S. national debt has surpassed $37 trillion. That is a record number, and it happened sooner than projected. The Congressional Budget Office projections had this happening in 2030. Debt grew faster than expected, though, because of the COVID pandemic, and they say more government spending was approved after President Trump signed into law Republicans' tax cut and spending legislation earlier this year. And Jeff Hogan has what's happening on Wall Street. Jeff.
Yeah, take a look at this. All the major indices are up. S&P 500 is up marginally, same as the NASDAQ, but the big winner right now, noon on this Wednesday, you're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 341 points right now. You know, tonight could be your lucky night to become a multi-millionaire. The Powerball jackpot has grown to a whopping $526 million now. No one matched all 6 numbers in Monday night's drawing, so the next big drawing is tonight, 11 p.m. right here on WRAL. And if there is a winner, you could walk away with a cash payout over $240 million.
So we all dream. Next at noon, Smithsonian Review, the museums where President Trump has ordered a closer look at the exhibits.
Also, YouTube age crackdown, how it plans to use AI to bust users who lie about their age.
And not giving up. A Fuqua family wants justice after a man was found dead in Florida with no signs of foul play.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, a woman is dead after a shooting near a Louisville high school earlier this morning. A teen suspect is being questioned. The shooting happened around 8 o'clock this morning near a bus stop as kids were going to school. Police said the woman was walking a child to the bus stop at the time of the shooting. That child was not hurt. The teen suspect was taken into custody. There are no outstanding suspects, and police say no danger to the community.
More breaking news. We now know who makes up this year's slate of Kennedy Center honorees.
The honorees this year include George Strait, Michael Crawford, Gloria Gaynor, Kiss, and Sylvester Stallone. In a Truth Social post, President Trump wrote, "Great nominees for the Kennedy Center," alluding to Republican efforts in Congress to rename that complex. Now, Trump installed himself as Kennedy Center chairman in February, and during today's announcement, Trump toured the center to weigh in on how to spend the $250 million Republicans set aside in July for renovations to the center as part of their tax and spending bill. The president also ordered a review of exhibits and materials at the Smithsonian Institution. Top aides say the initiative is an effort to remove divisive or partisan narratives. 8 key Washington, D.C.-based Smithsonian museums will be part of the first phase of the review, including the Museum of African American History and Culture, National Air and Space Museum, and the Smithsonian American Art Museum.
All month long, we're helping area animals find forever homes during our Clear the Shelters event. Person County Animal Services will be offering reduced adoption fees. During the month of August, all cat adoptions are half off, and dog adoptions are only $10. To learn more and locate a shelter near you, go to WRAL.com/shelters. The models that WRAL meteorologists often show during Atlantic hurricane season have an interesting name: spaghetti models. Meteorologist Chris Michaels explains what they are and the possibilities they show at Tropical Storm Aaron.
Yeah, definitely have a unique name, but they are very useful this time of year. These spaghetti models, they're a tool to show confidence in the storm track during hurricane season. They show where the center of the storm could be based on a variety of different forecast models or forecast projections. So let's talk about how that looks with Tropical Storm Aaron heading into next week. You see the lines are closer. It means we've got confidence in where the storm is going. As they diverge, that's when you start to consider a range of possibilities, but it does look as though, for the most part, it's trending out to sea. Reason for that is high pressure near Bermuda trying to guide it our way, but then a dip in the jet stream over New England trying to take the storm and push it away from U.S. soil. So you see that range there. I like to think of it as the strike zone in a Major League Baseball broadcast. So if the storm tracks a little bit closer to the coast, it's like it's hugging the inside corner. That would be our rip current risk. But if it goes farther out to sea, hits Bermuda, and then right in the middle is where most of those spaghetti models are clustered, and it kind of threads the needle, or in this case, threads the noodle.
Or if it's just a bit outside, I think we'd all like that one. Keep it away from us. But I tell you what's hitting us straight on. It's weather alert day right now.
Yeah, several counties are seeing 1 to 3 inches of rain already, and it's getting saturated. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with how much we've seen and where the heaviest rain is now.
Yeah, we're taking a look at that. WRAL Weather Alert Day, the third one this week. We may see it again tomorrow. We just continue with this pattern. What's happening is we have a lot of tropical moisture in place, and then we have some weak disturbance that are riding over us that are bringing us this rain popping up. So a lot of the rain at the moment is actually in our northern counties or our southeastern counties. We do still have a warning that's in effect here for Wake County. This is a flash flood warning. It's in effect until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And so we do have the storm tracker out. I'm going to show you where it is in just a second. But again, a lot of that rain starting to push kind of out of Wake County through parts of Johnston County. We'll head down to the south. It's been pretty heavy in Fayetteville, but that's also starting to move out. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a break. Down here south and east of Raleigh, southeast of Clayton is where the storm tracker is right now. And you can see the windshield wipers really going. That rain has been heavy at times, in some places. So be careful if you're going to be out and about. I wish that I could say we'll be done with it in a few hours, but we'll continue all the way through the evening to have that potential for some of that heavy rain. We've had some pockets of 2 to 3 inches already in the last 24 hours, and we'll likely see more of that as we get through the evening. So this is a look at our flood risk. We do have that flood risk for the entire viewing area, but we won't see flooding everywhere. Just like the last couple of days, we'll have pockets. Like Monday, it was downtown Raleigh. Yesterday, it was down across parts of the Sandhills, and now we're seeing a little bit of both. We had a warning in the Sandhills, and we have a warning in Wake County. Futurecast showing that rain to our north right now, but again, continuing to redevelop. There's 2 o'clock this afternoon, and at 5 o'clock, potentially, it's in our southern counties. But I'll tell you, the models haven't done a great job of handling where and how much of this rain may develop. It's been a pretty tough pattern. Why are we seeing all this heavy rain? This high pressure system rotating clockwise and the low rotating counterclockwise are both working together to draw up all that moisture from the tropics and just push it right over us. So we have to break up this pattern if we're going to see the rain stopping. So first of all, eventually, as we get through the day, tomorrow into Friday, that low moves eastward and a high follows behind it. High pressure systems rotate clockwise, so that high is going to help shove that tropical moisture to the south. But in the meantime, you see people crossing the street with their umbrellas there in Lewisburg, where that rain is really coming down. Temperatures have stayed cool today. We're still just in the mid-70s in the triangle. The dew points way up in the low 70s. And we may end up in some spots climbing up into the 80s, but we're not likely to be anywhere near the 90s 12 days in a row. The first part of August with no 90-degree days. The last time we saw that was 1980. Now, we'll likely start to see the temperatures climbing as our chance of rain drops. So 90s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but right about 90, and the heat index maybe in the mid to upper 90s. Here's a look at the latest on Tropical Storm Erin, moving west 17 miles per hour, a little bit slower than what we saw earlier this morning, but still on track to become a Category 1 storm on Thursday evening and Category 3 as we get into the weekend. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to take a look at the hurricane-specific models, those spaghetti plots that Chris was talking about. We have a new run coming in, and we'll show you those coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Protecting your money. Years after a Smoothie King app data breach, a Garner thief stole $600 from someone who never changed their password. Today on WRAL News at 4, what the steps cybersecurity experts say you should take to make sure you don't fall victim.
And student parking shortage. The mayor of Apex says Apex Friendship High School is short over 400 parking spaces for students. On WRAL News at 6, the options the town is weighing to help fix this. Plus, still ahead this noon, a new business model is giving working parents peace of mind.
Parents are still on site, so they're out of sight.
And later, how remote workers can meet business deadlines while staying close to their little ones.
Back to school deals. August is the best time for early Labor Day sales. How to shop smart and keep more money in your accounts. August is a hot time for back to school sales and early Labor Day deals. And the savings go way beyond pencils and paper. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows us how to shop smart as we head into this final stretch of summer.
Oh, I hate to say it, but summer is almost over and it might be time to put down that beach bag and pick up a backpack. No worries though, August has some great deals. Here they are. Last week, we told you about Consumer Reports' top tested laptops. Here's another great option that's on sale. The Samsung Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360, impressed with its long battery life and ability to easily flip between a tablet and laptop modes. Check Amazon or Samsung websites for the discounted price. And a dependable coffee maker in a dorm room is always an essential. This Black & Decker coffee maker is on sale at JCPenney and can brew a pot in only 6 minutes. It's great for students who are in a hurry.
Labor Day is a smart time to buy large appliances because retailers want to clear out their inventory and make room for new models.
This Insignia chest freezer, discounted at Best Buy, makes a great garage freezer, and CR says it can keep your food frozen even if the power goes out. Finally, this expert grill is marked down right now at Walmart. Its indirect cooking and preheat performance proved top-notch in Consumer Reports testing. And here are some other things that are on discount typically in the month of August. Dehumidifiers, vacuums, microwaves, and printers. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Also today, YouTube will begin testing its AI-assisted age verification as it cracks down on young users who lie about their age. The AI will analyze the type of videos you watch and the longevity of your account to determine your age regardless of the birth date you may have entered when signing up. YouTube says if the system determines a user is a teen, it will automatically apply age-appropriate experiences and protections. The safeguards include reminders to take a break from screen privacy warnings and restrictions on video recommendations. Apple is denying Elon Musk's accusation that it favors OpenAI and ChatGPT in its App Store rankings, making it impossible for other companies to reach the top of the list. Apple says the App Store is designed to be fair and free of bias. It features thousands of apps through charts, algorithm recommendations, and curated lists chosen by experts using objective criteria. Elon Musk has not provided evidence to back his allegations, but warns he could take legal action.
Travelers hoping to get away to Europe will now face new regulations when they apply for new electronic documents. Starting this fall, U.S. citizens visiting Great Britain must have electronic travel authorizations, also known as ETAs. It is valid for 2 years, and the fee is about $22. Europe's new entry-exit system launches in October. It requires travelers have their faces and fingerprints scanned. Anyone who refuses will not be allowed in. Thanks for sticking with us. Today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Flash flood warnings and advisories have already been issued for the Sandhills.
We have live team coverage for you this noon. The WRAL Storm Tracker is watching the roads this lunch hour. We do want to begin with Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at our rain chances for the rest of the day. Elizabeth.
We still have that potential for rain. It's going to come and go as we get through the day. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, so there's plenty there. It's just we'll see these little disturbances over our head, kind of tripping off some of these showers on and off. And with all this heavy rain, we're guaranteed to see some downpours out there. We do have a bit of a note. We did have a flash flood warning that was in effect for part of Wake County. It has expired early, so it was set to expire at 2 o'clock. And of course, it does look like a lot of that rain has started to taper off. Still, we did see about 2 inches of rain in the middle of Wake County. You can see, especially there, a little spot there to the west, about 1.5 inches just to the north and east of Raleigh. Into the west of Raleigh was almost 2 inches. Lots and lots of rain down to the south so far today. We're continuing to see some showers down around parts of Johnston County, and then up to the north, some heavy rain falling in Durham and Rollsville and Zebulon right now. So a lot of the viewing area continuing to see some heavy rain moving out of Cumberland County and into the northern part of Sampson County. Here's a look at some of those rainfall totals from the south. Around 4 inches at Southern Pines. There was a flood warning there earlier. Around 3 inches for parts of Harnett County. So again, it's been coming down pretty heavily. We'll head back out to the Storm Tracker, and Storm Tracker just moved out of the frame there at Wilson's Mills, just to the east there. And of course, Lynn Snyder, they're taking a look at what's happening on the roads. How's it looking right now?
Hey, Elizabeth, the windshield wiper is getting a workout this Wednesday. Let's give you a look at the roads right now. We're on 70 East, approaching Goldsboro, just past Wilson's Mills here in Johnston County. We've noticed periods of on and off heavy rain, and most recently here on 70 East have noticed ponding on the side of the road So just watch your speeds, as there is some water starting to gather on the sides of the roads and edges of driveways, especially during pockets of heavy rain. And especially as we get to these higher speeds here on the main highways off the secondary roads, the road spray from cars and especially larger vehicles tends to pick up as well. So just watch your distance out there as well. A lot of wet pavement out there, and on and off pockets of heavy rain that we're seeing, especially in areas of Johnston County. As we've been driving south of Raleigh through Clayton, over by Smithfield, and now just past Wilson's Mills, heading east to Goldsboro. So we'll keep an eye on the roads, keep you updated on any conditions that pop up. Elizabeth, we'll send it back to you, though.
Thanks, Lynn. Be careful out there. I think we've been pretty fortunate so far. The 2 flash flood warnings that we've not had any reports of actual flooding, so that's good news. Tropical storm Aaron moving west at 17 miles per hour. Of course, the new forecast track came out at 11 o'clock. Still on track to be a Category 1 storm on Thursday evening, and then Category 3 by the weekend. Coming up, we're going to take a look at our hurricane model plots and show you what the newest runs are showing.
So whenever severe weather is in your area, we want to see what you see. So take some pictures and video when it's safe to do that, and then send it to us at WRAL.com/reported. You can upload what you see there, and then we will share your pictures and video on TV and online.
Durham is reviewing how its agencies responded to the flooding from Chantal. 81 people had to be rescued the night of the flooding. City and county staff said big successes were found with the mass care shelter plan and residents' use of Durham One Call. They also identified opportunities for improvement. One of them is an Eno River specific alert.
Implemented the framework by adding an opt-in group within Alert Durham for residents to choose to opt into to receive this targeted messaging. To date, we've had about 22 residents sign up for this. As well as a joint city and county crisis communication plan, which is currently in progress.
Staff members are also looking at expanding emergency management monitoring to 24 hours a day. Another success was Durham's HEART team helping people during the crisis.
A family of a North Carolina man found dead in Florida is calling on the FBI to get involved. 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier was found dead in a pond, and officials say there were no signs of foul play. Melanie Holt reports his family isn't giving up.
Our fight is not over. We are committed to seeking justice for Giovanni and finding the truth about what happened to him. We want answers, not just for our family, but to ensure no other family has to endure.
That was Melanie Holt. Pelletier was a recent graduate of Fuquay-Varina High School. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is active.
At this hour, advocates for low-income families are calling attention to cuts to federal food assistance. The cuts were part of President Trump's spending and cuts bill that was signed into law last month. Critics say those cuts will make North Carolina's hunger problem worse. Amy Barros is the CEO of the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. She says programs like hers cannot make up for a 20% cut to SNAP.
4 million people in North Carolina use SNAP to buy groceries. 85% of those are families with children, seniors, or people with disabilities, some of our most vulnerable neighbors. And most live in rural communities.
And she said the need for food assistance is the highest now that it's been in 20 years, even before the cuts. State officials say the SNAP cuts will leave a $700 million hole in the state budget.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Venus Williams making her return to Grand Slam tennis at the U.S. Open. After a 2-year absence, she received a wild card invitation to compete at Flushing Meadows in New York. At the age of 45, she will be the oldest in singles at the tournament since Renee Richards in 1981. This is video here from last month at the D.C. Open, her first win in 2 years. Singles matches begin in New York, August 24th.
Wouldn't bet against her, right? Work and stay. We'll explain the unique way for parents to get work done with their kids around.
And the potential for flooding from glacial lakes. The dangerous situation people in Alaska are facing. It is a wet, soggy day out there. You're looking live at Lewisburg right now and watching WRAL News, available on YouTube and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
A new survey is shedding some light on the financial burdens some families are facing heading into the new academic year. Analysts found 78% of back-to-school shoppers are concerned about technology purchases this year. 46% of shoppers are worried about rising prices and tariffs. Besides taking the cost of devices into consideration, parents need to ensure the device fits the student's needs.
It really goes down to what it is that your student will need for the back to school year. If it's mainly for creating and reading documents, you might be able to get away with something more budget friendly. But when we start thinking about data analyzation, creating images, you might want to look into something a little bit more pricey that has a better processor, better storage, better memory.
And consumers can look to save money by buying secondhand devices, but make sure the battery is in good condition and get the return policy and warranty information in case you're not satisfied.
Finding a nice, quiet place to work with kids around can be a challenge. Enter Work and Stay, a new business model out of Arizona. It started as Play and Stay, where the kids would come in with their parents watching, hanging out on the jungle gym. Well, the owner noticed people taking calls and sending emails while the kids played, so she expanded and she set up new workspaces available for rent and a separate childcare room. So now parents can do their remote work in cubicles and watch their kids playing.
They don't have to pay the typical high cost of daycare because they still are here. And if they're absolutely needed or if they need to see their child, they're right next door. But they still can go over there and work distraction-free as if their child was in preschool or daycare. But parents have to stay on site.
The owner also offers learning opportunities. She says it's important that parents can feel good if they choose her business over preschool.
Don't be duped by this. Counterfeit Labubu dolls. They could pose a serious hazard. What you need to know to keep your child safe.
And a wave of water is threatening people in Juneau, Alaska. Why meteorologists say it's causing the melting glacier to inundate the area.
Thousands of dollars worth of Labubus are back with the owner. Authorities in Chino, California recovered roughly $30,000 worth of the highly sought-after dolls. Investigators say the toys were stolen from a warehouse. This comes as Britain posted a warning about fake Labubus, and a group says the fake dolls have detachable parts that could pose a choking hazard. A genuine Labubu has a holographic Pop Mart sticker, a scannable QR code linking to the company's website, and a UV stamp on one of the feet. Thank goodness they were rescued. Tampa's police department released body cam video of a heroic rescue at a house fire.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Come on! Come on! Sir, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Thick black smoke pouring from that home was partially engulfed in flames as well. People outside were screaming for someone to help a man stuck in the living room. Others crawled into the home and pulled the man outside for fresh air. Everyone was treated for smoke inhalation.
Forecasters are warning people who live in Juneau, Alaska, to prepare for significant flooding with a glacial outburst underway. The U.S. Geological Survey released a time-lapse video showing rising water levels of glacial lakes over July and August. Flooding is expected to crest between 16 feet and topping last year's record. The floods have become a yearly hazard since 2011, fueled by melting ice linked to climate change. And while Alaska's dealing with that, here's a situation in Arizona. Forecasters have issued a blowing dust advisory for parts of Arizona today. A viewer captured amazing pictures of what's called the haboob. It's an intense dust storm carried by the wind of a weather front or thunderstorm, and they are most common during the monsoon season. We're talking specifically from June to September.
It's the greatest last day for anybody. Haboobs and Labubus all in the same newscast. I mean, what could be better? This is madness going on here. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now, the tropical update for us.
And you know, they can't fire you, Jeff. You can say whatever you want to say. Love it. Aaron is moving its way across the Atlantic, still thousands of miles away from the United States. Not that it's going to have a major impact here, but of course it's still way out to sea, and a lot of things are going to change in the atmosphere over the next week. We'll be on top of it, watching what's going on. It is likely to be a major hurricane by Saturday and make a curve to the north. The question is, will it be closer to Bermuda? Will it be closer to the United States? The trends lately are looking pretty similar in that it does stay off the coast of the United States. So we'll certainly hope that it stays that way, and hopefully it'll stay away from Bermuda as well. There it is right now. It's not looking terribly impressive on the satellite view. Still just has winds at 45 miles per hour, and it started that way. So for the last 48 hours, it really hasn't gained any strength. It is moving west at 17 miles per hour right now. And here's a look at the forecast path. Now, the path continues to have it strengthening as it moves a little farther west into an area that's more conducive for development. It's likely to become a hurricane by late tomorrow evening, and then Category 3 by the weekend and into early Monday. That's when it's going to start to make that curve. Fortunately, it curves away from all of the Caribbean islands as a Cat 3, because we know that could be devastating. So what we look at here, we look at the big models. You know, we hear us talk about the European and the GFS, which is the American model. We look at those for sure, but we also look at these specific models that are designed to look at hurricanes, forecast hurricanes, analyze hurricanes, and figure out where they're headed. This is somewhat discouraging. Earlier, the last run of the models had a lot of these, what we call spaghetti models. You might have heard Chris talking about that earlier in the newscast. They were pretty close together, like here. So that gives us a lot of confidence. Everybody's in agreement. But all of a sudden, this latest run is pretty widely spread. It's still, not necessarily looking like everything's headed to the United States, but we like to see those nicely packed together to give us more confidence. So again, we have a week to watch this. This high pressure system is pushing Aaron along to the west, and then it'll also curve around that high, also hopefully getting kicked off the coast by a weak trough or a cold front that would push it away from the United States. So we're watching for that. If you're headed to the beach this weekend, no big deal. Shouldn't see any impact. Should be a fine weekend at the beach. Looks a little drier than it has this week. Monday and Tuesday, maybe some rip current danger. And then Wednesday to Thursday is when we'd be watching to see where it's going to end up off the coast. We're looking at a flooding threat continuing here on through the rest of the afternoon. We've had anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain in some places, especially the Sandhills, and even some of that right here in downtown Raleigh. A lot of the rain right now is in our northern counties. We'll zoom in here and you can see some rain in Durham, Wake Forest, Creedmoor, Henderson, Lewisburg, headed over toward Nashville, Roxborough, up toward Roanoke Rapids. That's where a lot of it is right now. But there's a little bit down to the south, moving away from Cumberland County, sort of over toward Newton Grove. We'll continue to have a chance of rain anywhere from 30 to 50% for the rest of the day. Oh, look at this. This is a brand new update. So the Weather Prediction Center, who sends these flood reports out, has now bumped us into the medium risk. That's not good. We've already had 2 warnings, though. We had a warning in Moore County and one in Wake County, so probably more to come. Thursday and Friday, we're still under that low risk for flooding, too. Once this pattern begins to change a little bit and we dry out, we heat up, too, highs will be back into the 90s for the weekend.
Our pet of the day is a senior superhero from the Wake County Animal Center. Meet Loki, the god of mischief and mystery. He is ready to trade chaos for cuddles. If you would like to see if Loki would be a good fit, you can email wcac.matchmaker@gmail.com with the subject line, Loki.
Another pet of the day, 3-month-old gray and white kitten, a heart as soft as his fur. Griffin is the full package, playful, well-mannered, loves people and other pets, including dogs. He's a purring machine, and if you're looking for a loyal, loving companion who brings both fun and comfort into your home, fill out an application on the Cat Angels website to meet him in person.
And some breaking news in the WRAL Live Center. We are learning that the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Tom Dundon, is reportedly buying the Portland Trail Blazers basketball team. Sportico first reported this deal. Any transaction would need NBA approval, but Dundon bought the Hurricanes in 2018 for $425 million. He says he wants to bring Major League Baseball to North Carolina, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Your top stories are next.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. A 15-year-old is facing first-degree murder charges in the death of his aunt, uncle, and grandmother in Harnett County. It happened just before 5:30 yesterday on Kentucky Derby Lane. Deputies found Danny and Sabrina Richards shot to death. The grandmother, Clara Richards, was taken to the hospital where she later died. The 15-year-old was arrested in the Spring Lake area.
4 people, including 2 boys, face felony charges after leading police on a chase for nearly 20 miles. State Highway Patrol said it started in Mebane when they stole a Toyota 4Runner. The driver crashed the SUV on I-85 near the Duke Street exit around 1 a.m. All 4 jumped out and ran, but were later arrested. 18-year-old Colby Williams is also charged with possession of cocaine, and he is due in court at 2 o'clock today.
UNC and Bill Belichick enter a new stage of fall camp. The team practiced in pads for the second time today. Belichick says this morning that the team has done a lot of learning so far. Now they plan to evaluate the players. UNC will open the season by hosting Texas Christian University on September 1st.
Password protection. Years after a Smoothie King app data breach, a Garner thief stole $600 from someone who never changed their login information. Today on WRAL News at 4, what the steps cybersecurity experts say you should be taking to make sure you don't fall victim to it.
Today is a bittersweet day here at WRAL. It is Jeff Hogan's last day with us after a 7-year run. He's accepted a job at his previous station in Columbus, Ohio. I want to show you a highlight reel of all the wonderful things that he's done here during his time. Whether, Jeff, you're sharing the news of the day, breaking news, and of course, anything sports related, our viewers knew they could count on you. And tell you what, humor and heart are your superpowers. And so is that head of hair of yours. We will miss working with you so much, but I know you won't miss the early morning hours.
That'll be a
for
switch.
work.
That'll be
Yeah.
a switch. Yeah, I'm flipping the script to go to evenings, and that'll be a big change. So I won't have to set the alarm clock anymore. But the only reason I'm prepared for something like that is because of the time I spent here with you guys. It has left me, in just such great position to move on and do this in my career.
Jeff is so fun to work with, isn't
I
he?
know. It's just really like when Jeff and I met, I've told him this a bunch of times. He was very serious and talking about news, and he is. But I was like, I'm not sure this guy might be kind of boring. But then he came in, and it just is always a ray of sunshine. So much fun, so funny. It's been a treasure and a treat to work with you.
And when you took over for Bill, when he retired, I was wondering, would I have the chance to experience that camaraderie, that rapport, and 100% with you? And it really just was unique on its own. And I will have a forever friend in you. We'll miss you.
Well, I hope
so
you feel
much.
like you did. We spent 8,000 plus hours here together through all the breaking news and all the, the storms and the parades and all the. So, thank you guys.
For the last time here, NBC, for you anyway, NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
Breaking news updates anytime with the app.
And we'll miss you, Jeff.
And that's a wrap for Hogan. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL weather alert day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.